Dola penje
sanje rubarai shu sanje jedan zoye zonam la janjo bardo dani jazonje nage jezonje bezonamanje dola penje sanje rubarai shu sanje jedan zoye zonam la Janjo bardo dani yazonje nage jinso yebe sonamje dola benje sanje ndo barai shu sanje chedan soye sonam Janjo bardo dani yazonje nage jinso yebe sonamje Dola benje sanje do barajo. From now on till enlightenment, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, and by the merit created in this practice, may attain the state of Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. From now until enlightenment, I take refuge. And by the merit created in this practice, I may attain the state of Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings.
From now until my enlightenment, I take refuge in Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. And by the merit created in this practice, may I attain the state of Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings.
Oda, kasam bhajan dini. Tersi jena kasan tisam di insa gudo. Apagi sangya ne dela sangya onde galata karizana chansen sipa thama be chanjungundu chibe ne de dogam khana re esi. Ta tuta koma ina. Ani dobe khamla sangya mare sare sangya dobe khamla sangya ge ne mare dobe khamda ani zume niga sangya mare sangya ma sarto sangye ne mare su sore karjana phage dotande debe khamda zu komda sangye number samingya zugi khamda omin dun docha de sangya o ze sore ota te indigala phage omin dela chik phage zukaneri chidin yubenani chidin ba omin de dajambe ne re mado yang sangye 좀 lungi ne chaya mare sarto sangya ge lungi ne de chaya mare tinde sarto sangya lungi ne de chegi ba omin singhe oda chara ma thumu mai ba te tu da komen de subde chegi ba omin la sangya ge se de oda chara ma dokom khorang sangya bare doje den la pe sang sarto sangya re ma to te sangya gin zebar de sungo mare oda te gi chebra de chi haku go de ke chimuchres 은 제가 마을을 lungu killing go mare oda chansen sipa tama be chanjungun dinen ndo konga nang
titan도 제라마역디
제라마이 거 그상대 결식지 네 파기 갈디에서 딱 미팅 받침 보였을 때 또스 담나 어떤 미팅 받쳐서 지사려
제라마 와와데 어디로 데뷔 갑데 어디로
리뷰 갑래 리뷰 저토다 저기 저기 보면 기대다 까나도가 손대다 이제 손 비치르지 장시 시바 탐매백은 장중문도 집에 있는 노공고나 예배지 오면도 붙고보다 룽기 남자 개밀로 나온 생기로
just to kind of review what we covered last class. It's on page 216 if you have the book. This sort of middle of the page, and this is one interpretation sort of unique to this school, Great Exposition School, and according to this school, they say that the place where bodhisattvas actualize enlightenment during their last lifetime is definitely just the desire realm. Therefore, the proponents of the Great Exposition do not assert a presentation of heavily adorned highest pure land or an enjoyment body. So, according to this school, desire realm is where actually enlightenment takes place, and sukam neri chuptin di suimbe.
Sukam neri chuptin nani ta tuta koma ina sangya neri dokam kin sangi mares dokam da zumini ka sangi mar te chomden digin doyores debe kam da zukam la sagi number sang yas zugi kam da omindo doja ta sangya u se chomden rang songres ti indigala zugi kam da omindo se digala zukam neri chudin yore chudin nani chudin bada ominden dajambe ne sare mata lungu sangye sartu sangye ge nedi chaya mares this lungu sartu sangye nedi ka kabar jana ani jege ba omi sing de deresi lungu
dokam da sukam sangye marse
dokam da sukam niga sartu sangye ge mares to ta komelula mata cheta maogin dokam gona sangye reso sungora 전쟁이가 팔전다고 자고 투모도 많이 봐.
수감 상계에 상계 말했어. 두가 시라마로라. 시라마로는 독감 거랑 두가 공멜로라. 두가 공멜라라 수감나 상계에. 주메던도 빠 상계 말했어. 아네. 이 도티기 세고수다. 주기 감 데베 감다 주메라 상계 넘버 3이야지. 상계 넘버 3기 말이지. 수감기는 수감 찾아만 해봐. 좁게지 봐. 저기 봐 오민. 다 오민들아야 주기 칸다 오민도서데 당다자네. 저라 주기 칸다 오민도서 오민들아 니여레스. 지금 봐도 오민다 저기 봐 오민들. 지금 봐 오민들 라점비니레스. 아니 상계에서데 저기 봐 오민 찾아오래. 지금 봐 오민들 말이지. 롱구. 또 고마 롱구 킬링 거와. So here, in the text when it says that the proponents of the great expositions do not assert the presentation of heavily adorned highest pure land or an enjoyment body. So they don't, assert or they don't, accept this enjoyment body of the Buddha. But when you look at the interpretation of the higher school, they interpret or they accept the enjoyment body as the one form of the body, and the different interpretation here is based on actually sort of a location or stage where bodhisattvas ultimately achieve enlightenment. So according to this school, they achieve enlightenment among the three desire realm is the way they achieve enlightenment. But according to the higher school of thoughts, bodhisattvas don't achieve enlightenment at the desire realm. From the three, not desire realm, not also formless realm. And so according to higher school, bodhisattvas achieved enlightenment at the desire realm only. Form realm only. And within the form realm, there are 17 stages. So among the 18 stages, 18, the final or the highest one is the where bodhisattva achieves enlightenment, and not even the 17. The 17 is where bodhisattvas become full destroyer, and then at the 18th stage of form realm, bodhisattvas or practitioners achieve enlightenment. So, and because the 18th stage is actually the stage of the enjoyment body Buddha. So and I think we mentioned this before. And all the disciples are bodhisattvas only.
All the those that there was some in Rajamla large big captains, that Karsigore. Teba Sungata, Nindiki Teba, Rangal Teba, Tijingi Teba, Sumge and Tajabaina, Ranrange and Pe Teba Ranlangi, and Pe and Tata Jumdegandina, Laji in Woodres, Karzam Pumbo, Nargi Pumbo de Pumbo Lama de Chereores. To Yula Pagi Numondanda, Tralerete, Pumbo Lama de Insa, the day using Geneni. Kepa sungin rajumla laje bi caps gores. Lajing gor mata lame yomares. De lame lama poyong de gala, and be marmishi water, marmina nums and marmishi to war. Dinner is report junchen to war. But the tea Jerame to Muma in Bachaja. The mother to the Comayan, revive Vincent and Gomara.
Also, it's on page 217, second paragraph. All four destroyers of the three vehicles have nirvana with remainder, because they assert that when one attains a nirvana without remainder, there is a severing of the continuum of consciousness, like the extinction of flame. So what they are saying here is that the nirvana of all three vehicles, solitary realizer, hearers, and Mahayana, are all nirvana with remainder, and they don't interpret, or they don't accept this nirvana with without remainder. And because according to this school, nirvana without remainder is where kind of consciousness stop. There is no continuity of the consciousness. It is just like, as they said here, extinction of a flame.
Oda pagi panja bandu zale ante tos mani bayong re. Kora kita koma de shizu matu bachare. Sangi phabi gyula dugu mali bapangyang te gyula dudin yopa mingal deis. Dudin le mani nyumu mali bapang na dudin phama jobi chizu te sungwa. Ta sangi phabi gyula karjana pungpula ma yu sungwa. Pungpu de dudin chade wa. Ani Tigula dudin yores. Nina yang dudin pa marbe pan re karajana pumbuli mi be pagi nyomong mali ba pan sa re. Ni pe pumbuli mi be ni chapa che ga pumbuli mi be ngar kal che ga te ki ke yo mar te inti kala ko nyomong mali ba pan insa ni pumbu dan dudin dan lena yang dudin pan ba re pan den killing ko che da ma ko ta te ke pam tumo mai ba chi cha ga re.
Page 218, first paragraph. Buddha's superiors have abandoned all sufferings and their origin without exception. Yet, it is not contradictory that true suffering exists within their continuum. So we also, this is also one point where, great exposition school kind of differs from higher school of thoughts, and their interpretation here is that they are Buddhas who has completely abandoned all sufferings and their origin, as said here. But they also says that it is not contradictory, however, that true suffering still exists with them. So what we mentioned is, what they are saying is they are kind of accepting this kind of seemingly contradictory interpretation. Although Buddhas have already abandoned all suffering, yet they still possess suffering. So what they when they interpret that they still have a suffering, what they are referring to is the as we said before, this contaminated aggregate. They still have this contaminated aggregate, yet they have abandoned all sufferings, because based on aggregates, they don't generate pride, jealousy. So there's no sufferings from aggregate this body, but they still possess the body. So it's kind of, as said before, kind of looks kind of contradictory. They eliminate all suffering, yet they also possess suffering.
The Guzem then Dembares, Karzana, do then the Taco, Kuzentuja Madame Pardo, Pumpudi Legua. Chazante Leores. In a tape sartu Nomokia, Pumpulami, Nomokia, in Mainza, Nomo Telemi, do Delemi, Nomoliva, Pansarinza, Tapet. Then Mazitarinza, do them Pampares.
So there is a reason for this, as said before. They have a suffering, or to be more specific, truth of suffering, and this, truth of suffering, according to this school, it refers to the aggregate that they possess. So they have this, aggregate. Therefore, they have a truth of suffering, but they have no suffering because whatever suffering that is related to the aggregate, they have already abandoned or eliminated. So there is no new suffering that can generate from this very aggregate that they possess. So again, as said before, there is a reason of their way of interpretation. They have the Bodhisattvas, the Buddha has completely eliminated suffering, yet they still have a suffering. So having a suffering or possessing a suffering refers to the possessing of aggregate or body.
That's Hagi Gibsum Jaya the young to Takoma the Matumba Chagri. Karazana Sangi Zupunde, Sangi Maresi or Karazana, Mar Chanson Jolam the Tejiboditua, Namape, touch and then the Sin Karsor Tap, Yabu Zansi Sichadior, the Indigala Tigi Kubuchi Pachadiora. Sangena yang kubundi coba cari orang. Hindi chance jalan dah sih jadi di bare. Tu kudoci cari orang. Hindi kalau tadi sangi jaci kemari es. Sangi konco sini tak kerja orang. Sangi konco deh. Sangi kudu di jalan doa. Tak kerja orang. Di tu izemi isu es. Tak yang namkena killing orang. Nampak sini tu ni killing orang. Hindi kalau di tu je kembi isu zemi isu deh. Any sangi concha in Slavic. What that young using Chipare. What that is so young Koratuma budget. Tijindu Loba Pabanam, Vindu Kojamian, Vindu Kojan Tiki London. What that London de Loba Paba. That to the Koma in and Tajamba. Any Tony Musum Dona, Papa in a Kazachi in any Vindu Concho. Loba any Jitona, Vindu Concha Jagitua. Any Chetamai will take Jago Mare. Lobicaja Koran Mare, Papa in a young, the chance Papa to do. The Tugi is a mission with the Gundu Concha Mato. Koran Gundu Concha Maresigo, the Tugi London the way. London. What a thing, Dugala? Chu Concha Jadi, Sangi and Yirangi, Gordon and London Nigai beaches, order, go by name Yomo, Zepis chatted down, any London Nigai, Choconjo says over. That it Gabone the charter, is a shadow. To the money, they depended a Tanjiro Barto, Choconjo, Gamoni, say the Carazana, around to Gilla, London, my dear mother, London, Kena. Tini Kare, Kalilani, Pet, DJ, any Numola Tachi, Numo ten maybe tendal chaji, Kokap Jungro. Someone Numo ten maybe tendal chaina, Dunalta Talson, Numola, Numogi. Dungal better match us. Did you want to go good one? Get money, take you in Chimbudoa. What I think, Kitchen.
And also we see a different interpretation of what three objects of refuge are, or three jewel, according to when we look at this school's interpretation. It's on page 218, second paragraph. Buddha's physical body is included in the same lifetime as the physical base of a bodhisattva on the path of the preparation. Therefore, they assert that this body is not a Buddha jewel, an object of refuge, although it is Buddha. So according to this school, they are saying that the historical Buddha Shakyamuni is not a Buddha because he is basically the continuum of the same bodhisattva who was born as a prince to the king. So so therefore Buddha Shakyamuni is not object of refuge, Buddha, three object of refuge. And so what is then object of refuge, Buddha refuge to this school is they refers this to the wisdom wisdom of extinction. I think it's page 219, right at the top. The Buddha jewel is asserted to be wisdom of extinction of the obstruction, and the wisdom that the obstructions will never be produced again, which exist in the mental continuum of the Buddha. So here they refers Buddha of the Buddha jewel to the consciousness, not the physical aggregate, and so. But at the same time, they don't interpret, or they don't use the word omniscient mind, as the higher school of thought says that omniscient mind, all-knowing mind. They don't interpret that way. So you can see here the kind of unique interpretation of what Buddha of refuge Buddha is. Again, sort of they apply same interpretation to other two objects of refuge. The Sangha, third object of refuge. Sangha, according to the higher school of thoughts, if somebody achieved the understanding of emptiness, he or she become Sangha, refuge. He becomes superior or arhat, and but according to this school, they again kind of refers to the here page 219, second paragraph. Similarly, because learner superiors, those in the paths of seeing and meditation, are beings who have contamination, they are not considered to be community jewel, although they are of the spiritual community. It is the true paths in the mental continuum. So Dharma jewel is the also here mental continuum, and it's a true path in the mental continuum. It is true path in the mental continuum of learner superiors, which are asserted to be the community jewel, and there also is a presentation of the doctrine jewel or Dharma, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. So the second one, Dharma, according to this school, is there also is a presentation of the doctrine jewel, because nirvanas and true cessation in the continuum of hearers, solitary realizers, and Buddhas are all doctrine jewels. So for the truth of cessation and truth of path are both Dharma jewel according to this school. So the truth of the Dharma jewel is sort of the interpretation is when you look at the higher school of thoughts, it's more kind of common, kind of similar, kind of referring to the true cessation, and so true cessation and true path, because these two, when you generate it within yourself, then you can eliminate, or you can abandon afflictions or defilements. So therefore, according to all schools, among the three objects of refuge, Dharma is the genuine or ultimate or authentic object of refuge. So here you can see kind of the common sort of interpretation of basically pointing, which is what is, Dharma jewel. They have kind of a common interpretation.
Oda tenida niban dutsulde re tatenani kasan tsingi yawa niga kasan dore. Ani rashi yin dutsulse oda dujene. Tsingi da rari mi duchi chidan dendu de kelimbe temingi tuta mawe ndodebe tsingi isi. Rari de chidan niga de jindi kelimbe temingi tuta mawe ndodebe tsingi isi. Ani 다 너데바다 페다 많이 던지지 니바텔라이나 룽기제랑 리비제랑스 룽기제랑데 또 뭐바저다 리비제랑 너데바다 또 참아되는 때문에 너데바다 되자거래 어때 인디가는 때 다시에 너데바다 페다 바지지비 규정이 돼지 제가 뒤지서 민랑와 또 좀된 게 놀라테네 아니 또 담아와나 너데바 최담제 페고네 때만 페던 바시테 난 다시데 어떤지래 어떻게 다시데 그산 로야 말아왔지
Also we covered beginning part of the Sutra school, page 221, and Sutra school, the second school, it begins with the definition. A definition of a proponent of Sutra is a person propounding lesser vehicle tenets who asserts the true existence of both external objects and self-cognizing consciousness. So the main point here is, true existence of external object as well as self-cognizing consciousness. And page 222, sub-schools of this Sutra school. There are two types of proponents of Sutra. Proponents of Sutra following scripture and following reasoning. One follows the scriptures and one follows the reasoning. The former are that is mainly proponents of the former proponents of Sutra or scriptures who follow Vasubandhu's treasury of manifest knowledge, and the second, the latter are mainly proponents of Sutra who follow Dharmakirti's 7 treatises on prime cognition. 223 etymology, why they are called proponents of Sutra and proponents of reasoning. There are reasons for their being called proponents of Sutra and exemplifier. They are called proponents of Sutra because they propound tenets chiefly in reliance upon the Supramontane Victor's Sutra or Buddha Sutra without following the great detailed exposition. They are called exemplifiers because they teach all doctrines by the way of examples.
가래용 그래. 보다 풍부 차단 차루. 샘긴 남샤. 아니 들생긴 로탕. 보다 되게 배 낭비 중니. 다다 좀다 있는 진도 순다는 되는 거래. 남긴 되줄데 낭비 다절래래. 아니 냠낸 제단지로 간디시 될래. 아니 디 냠낸 제니 아니 땡기 지든도마 상이 고방 간디시 두고요네. 녀몽 빠나 자점이 디부 아니 라이엘기 디부 간디스 토고요 맞다데 디부티 지금 거 데인드가라 다티 딘상 겨울무저 가바이나 베 카메나에디 사이언스 바당님도 가비나데 오데 진도 줄때 차리요.
Next we are going on to the assertions on the basis, which before the assertions of tenets. This section has 3 parts. The assertions on the basis, paths, and fruits. So from these 3, the first one, that's the basis, is the one that His Holiness often talks about. This is the section from the Buddhist text which we can based upon our discussions with the modern science understanding, and because in the basis it covers how aggregates are formed and the nature and the aspects of the mind and mental factors and atomic particles and their existence and basis. But when we go on to the path is more kind of something unique Buddhist practices, and under the path, when we talk about the path, we are talking about what are the actual practices that Buddhist practitioners follow, and how can one achieve ultimate destination or peace or enlightenment, and what are the results that we can achieve through abandoning different levels of obscurations, result like solitary realizer, four destroyers. So this all comes under the path.
Oda 이번 드슬에 지인 드슬 남긴 드슬 지빈 드슬로스 당볼에 율긴 드슬 율쟁긴 드슬로스 율긴 드슬들라 다 가래 유대 율쟁이 수체네 아니 당보 르리 버자와 율기승이 다 하기 잘제 로제 잘자 아니 거의 로디기 가서 리긴 이게 진짜대 답에 율레 대소래 어다디 르리 버자와 율기승이 르이도 자르와 시지승이 다 승이도 오네 시자 시비가라 랑 탑시 시에게 탑시 맞아마도 탑시 제베나 왜 율라 차르웅와래 대송도 다 와첨도 와 시자 시야다 루이도 차르웅가 세 어다디 어디니 루이도 차르와 다 천천 시비가라 가서 그래 생이 당 천자세 지디 천자 생이 시비가라 된대래 코 타니드 시야라 전데 인지미지 물 쉐고 와래 인디 돈마시 돈데 돈다데 마시나 타니 쉐 카야 보다 도수제데 다 생이 천자 아니 바기 전전이라 인겸념 마인겸념 매겸념 요겸념들에 전전 켜받고 얘기해야 보다 때도 오늘 중 당한지나 어때도 나는 심지어 용거래 로이도 자르원이나 가르스 로이도 자르원이나 시자인 백합 시자이나 로이도 자르원인 백합 인겸념이죠 되니 매겸념 로이도 자르원 메나 시자메 백합 시자메나 로이도 자르원 메 백합 시자다 요겸념이 시자이나 로이도 자르원 백합 로이도 자르원 시자이 백합 다 마인 겸념이래 로이드 자르원 마이나 시자 마인 비캡 시자 마이나 로이드 자르원 마인 비캡 센센 까라 때 켜바고지 탕고 거 디탕나 디양 세명에 베림바 따동 세마 나도 세마색도 와 시비 내림데 까라이나 생이 등물랑 선자도 주고 어떻게도 생이 중다 제바중문에 제겐지나 어떻게도 개침을 잘 좋아했어 아니 생이도 징나 야보래
Assertions on the basis. This section has two parts: assertions regarding objects and assertions regarding object possessors. Assertion regarding objects. The definition of an object is that which is suitable to be known by an awareness. The definition of an object of knowledge is that which is suitable to be an object of an awareness. Object existent, object of knowledge, and established ways are mutually inclusive. So here, object of knowledge is something that is perceived by our mind or by our consciousness. So something that is perceivable, that is comprehensible by our mind. And so from the very meaning or definition of the this object of the object or object of the knowledge here, it kind of tells that if we try to make an effort to perceive or comprehend, it is something that comes in our mind, that we can understand. So in the Buddhist logic study or epistemology, there's a lot of usage of definition and the illustration. So the definition here, the definition, the word, the definition tenyi in Tibetan refers to the actual meaning of whatever the word that you use. So here, the definition of an object of knowledge is which is suitable to be an object of an awareness, and the illustration or the word itself. In order to understand the word or vocabulary or terminology, one must understand the meaning of what that word is. When you have that understanding of the word or terminology, then you can sort of move on to the second level of using that terminology, comfortably. So the meaning, the definition of the word and the definition of the terminology or word or and the word itself, the word and the definition. In Buddhist study of logic, it should have 8 pervasion, I think should be. So what it refers to is the 8 pervasion here kind of classifies into 4. The first 2 sets are for example, if you look at the when we look at the definition of the object and the word object itself, the object is the word, and the meaning of the object here is which is suitable to be non-binary awareness. So the first is the if something is object, it should be also suitable to be non-binary awareness. And if something is suitable to be non-binary awareness, it should be object. So you can see kind of mutual inclusiveness of these two. So this is the Tibetan word is yin, which is that is or it is. So both has to be kind of they should be perversion. If something is object, it should be suitable to be non-binary awareness, and if something is non-binary awareness, it should be an object. So you can see here the word and the definition, the relationship between the word and definition. And the second 2 set is if something is not object, it shouldn't be suitable to be non-binary awareness. And you can look at the reverse way. If something is not suitable to be non-binary awareness, it is not object. So again, so the first one is that it is. Second is it is not. And the third 2 set is if there exists an object, there should be also existence of something which is suitable to be non-binary awareness. So basically, when object exists, the definition of the object should be also existing. And when there is a definition of object existing, the object should be existing. So the definition and the meaning should be existing at the same time. So, and then, the fourth true set is if there is no object, or if object doesn't exist, which is suitable to be known by an awareness also doesn't exist. And you can kind of, reverse. Which is suitable to be known by an awareness doesn't exist, the object also doesn't exist. So, so basically, these 8, the first 2 sets is, the Tibetan word is yin, which means, yes or not. The second is, doesn't. If something doesn't exist, another doesn't exist. And then fourth 2 sets is, if, yin ni che, me ni che, yu ni che, mo ni. Me ni che, yin ni, yu ni. Okay.
That's the last thing we do by your eyes. Also, two students, Ladigala, they getting Giru Lab in Kenyan to the Lame, and in Lab Sugar, Kangalan and Dodge. In Kansas, Changi, one China, the way to Kanila Darsha.
So, there are 4 true sets, right? So that the first one is it is, and second is it's not, and then third is it exists, and then fourth is it does not exist. So each one has 2 to 2, and there is a definite sequence for these 8, and so when at the monastery monks learn this from teacher, the teacher make a student verbally recite this 8. If something is object, it should be necessarily that is suitable to non-binary awareness. If something is non-binary awareness, it should be necessarily an object. So you kind of use this statement kind of verbally in order to understand the basic concept of the logic here. And it is also helpful when we go through this kind of definition of the object, or definitions of some term, sort of the memorizing the simple definition of the the terminologies as we go more into the text. Sunjalan si Quran dilana digoro. Tanya lagoro. Semeni verimba. So according, as said before, there is a definite, kind of sequence. So according to the, valid cognitive, understanding, as we said before, the understanding of the definition or meaning should come first before the word itself.
Muni Yonsarwa, Louis the Charumare, Sidugala, oh, yet the Shijaredua, Shiajeredua, Samson Yungudua. You go near the door, Shijazi, Jugumi, Louis the Charuma, the Tambo Hawaina, and this is just here, the Genie Quaji Ragadua.
So, to understand the word that we are using here is the word object. If you know that, the meaning of the word object, according to the meaning here, that which is suitable to be non-binary awareness. The another way of saying is that which can reflect in our mind, that which we can have an image in our mind. And when you have this understanding, then you will know that whatever things that you see is an object, has this definition.
심지어 배때가 저는 전체질에 생이 뚜마뚜마뚜 같이 시야 먹고 온 거래. 어떤 도시네 아니 칭이 여매까지 시야요래. 오다 두스님 저번에 망보용 그래 스타트네. 이게 아니 율당 여파 시제 유튜브는 던지리. 던지민게 남라지. 텔레이나 덴바니스여와. 다 군소 덴바도 던데 덴바니스여와. 란센데 지생니스여와. 가파도 투바니스여와. 응원줄도 권줄니스여와. 투숨도여와. 지다 다데니스여와. 오다 배 시절에 이줄 만다 가서도 덴바니스여와 란징니스여니 가르미서 숨 공고니스여지 뒤숨디요 이줄 만다 뚜도와 어때도 깨친 버려 이거
And with this understanding here, the object and its definition, there are lots of debate, that we can use to learn. A lot of kind of logical debate used here. For example, kind of if there's a definition for an object or thing, then what is the definition for that definition? Whether there's a definition of 당보도 가르치는 배치
생일에 다 전자라 생일 두마두까지 셔요.
So the another point of debate is for one name or one terminology, can you interpret this in many different ways? Can you bring up a lot of definitions, many different ways of definition instead of what is mentioned here? And which one is most appropriate? And I said before, whether the definition of the whatever word further needs definition or not. So there are lots of these are the points that we can debate upon. And now going on to the next, objects are divided into two truths. So object, the last paragraph of the last sentence of the this paragraph. Object, existent, object of knowledge, and established base are mutually inclusive. So these all, the another way of saying is these all can, the meaning can interchange. This for all this word: object, existent, object of knowledge, established, based are mutually inclusive. So the objects are divided into two truths, into specifically characterized and generally characterized phenomena, into negative phenomena and positive phenomena, into manifest phenomena and hidden phenomena, into three times and into single and the different. So these are the 6 different ways of classification or making a category of the object.
당 문이 나도 레바에 나타 디가라 제바제데 뱀미스를 개침 차디요. 유진세 제바제데 뱀미스를 가져. 다 디주 제바제나 생이도 인지 미지 로징 거래. 아니 생이도 로징이나 델레드는 과학이면 제바제야. 나그로 와. 생이도 로 맞으면 끝났다. 당가서 집이 데모슨 버전이 데미 집이 무슨 버전이 차르마다 이 자마치 타마드마다 균이랑 말이 짱박이 와 짝들아 가고 집이 차가를 때
가르쳐 보죠.
생이도 인지 제바제발은 생이도 인지 미지 거.
가르쳐 보죠. 가르쳐 보죠. 가르쳐 보죠.
다 전단된 바도 군소된 용으로 와. 된바니를 다 제바제고라 가르쳐. 네 생시자니 뒤숨이 생이도 용으로 와. 대인하다 닌디지는 대바자도 닌디지 마오바자. 다 전단된 바자는 닌디지도 와. 닌디지면은 전단된 바 닌디도 네 대마인바다 요아칸실 대마이나 네 군소된 바 용으로 와. 용으로 와. 생이도 자는 그것도 다다 고아데 되기로 와.
And now this, 6 classification or categorization of the object, this, if, we have kind of, intelligence or wisdom, then, we can use, kind of at the, into the deepest level of, analyzing these, different categorizations of the object of knowledge. So But in order to kind of go into deeper analysis, what is needed is kind of at the minimum level the definition of for example here, true truth. What is the definition of ultimate truth? What is the definition of conventional truth? So if you have the understanding of this basic definition, then you can go into much deeper kind of level of discussion or analysis. And for example, analysis in this in the sense that what is ultimate truth? If that is ultimate truth, does that mean that it is not conventional truth? So what are the differences between two? And also going like when we talk about three times, what is past, what is present, what is future? Are these contradictory? And so there are lots of questions that you can raise logically, kind of to understand the true nature of these phenomena. And so if you don't have the basic understanding of the the terminology, then as you go further into the investigation, it won't be so helpful. So Geshe said it's like catching, Yeti catching. I think we mentioned this example before. What's the animal that looks like a mice or rat without tail? Small animal, a guinea pig. Yeah, I think there's a hamster. So when Yeti picks the hamster, he picks up the hamster and put it under his arm, and or under his under his butt, and then he picks up again, and the one that he has is already gone. So he picks, he catch a lot, but at the end he has only one. So the way we study, if we don't know how to study well, we might at the end become like that. What we have is whatever you learn at the last few minutes or hours, not kind of sort of accumulated from so the knowledge that you learn here that should be kind of all accumulated and should be related, kind of using for whatever you learn should be kind of connected. So that way when you go more deeper into the study of logic, all are connected, and therefore it's kind of important instead of just kind of learning one and then forgetting one and not using the previous one.
Oda dondan de singi de dire ndadan tobe tabala matebar rang dulu gyungune ripichesu de chede dondan de singi is ta phagi ndadan lo toba ke phasha chaba te zamayin ba korang weni pha tubo su tubo res dulu gune dia ni ripichesu tu phagi ripich kasu chena ene pe neba minjuya ripichesu tu per tu res oda di indugala ta dondam demba sidugala yulgi nelu so le chadi ore oda ti ngobo dondam demba ransen mitapa duche dendrum nan tonchi ja so oda tus kire ani ta tobe tazam do dubi chede kunso de betsingire pena 남카세데 파기 똥차질라 또바고 남카세 따바르마도 배 똥차코란라 남카세 민 따바르 따지 어디 띵띵이니가라 군소덴바테서 에니베 파기 몸에기체 군소덴바 지젠 딱바 뉴마지기체 줌바르투바 오나 덴바마투 줌바르투바 어디 되게 건가 에니 ton치레셀라 तेदु इंदुगला ता रिंगी केबरीना 제가 마던 데 베베트가 가자서 아니 도리 제가 마위 뭐보다 뭐보들라 아니 다른 뭐보다 미다본 뭐 자기와 도리 비자기미도 어떻게 케버터서 바기 가마트서 제 마주지 양양도 하고 가도 뺏게 침보도
Going on to the true truths, page 224, true truths. The definition of an ultimate truth is a phenomenon that is able to bear reasoned analysis from the point of view of whether it has its own mode of existence, subsistence, without depending on imputation by terms or conceptual consciousnesses. It's a long definition. Yeah. So what they are, they according to this school, what is ultimate truth is the ultimate truth shouldn't be based upon imputation and conceptual mind. It should exist from its own mode of subsistence, as it said here. There should be existence from its objective side, not simply it doesn't simply depends upon imputation. So the another way of saying is that they are saying that the ultimate truth is the reality of that object, whatever object, because it is the mode of existence of that object. When we go to the second, the truth of conventional truth, the definition of truthful and obscured or conventional truth is phenomena that only exist through being imputed by a conceptual consciousness. So the conventional truth here is, according to this school, is exists through being imputed by conceptual awareness. So it exists only through, as it said here, conceptual designation or imputation or labeling by conceptual consciousness. And the example would be, when we say space or sky, we are actually using this word to represent empty space or nothing there. So we use that word to imputed it or labeled or designated to represent this kind of lack of object or space. So that is the conventional truth. The another way of saying here is that the conventional truth is more kind of imputed rather than its own mode of existence as in the ultimate truth. And again, as said before, when you look at the true truth and how they define the true truth, it is good if you sort of have understanding of true truth of the previous school, Great Exposition School, how they interpret the true truth, and you can see a big difference between the true truth of these two schools. And according to the lower school, Great Exposition School, Chirama
Dembani dire. Kana chana lui sandana minjiba kunjuji de kuzu yetatana yinusha. Chombam lui chacha sawana ranzingi londordo mirungi chede tondan demba. Chombam lui chacha sawana ranzingi londordo rungi chede kunza demba sidugala. Ta chik shebakaji chameda dulden chogi chamedezo tondan demba reisi. En thawada ani be bumbatezo kunza demba reisi. Karzana thawata bo soso saida thawans melodon dornugo was. Bumba ani thwa shushana bumba chomdugo bumbi ngodo the ladugo was. Iku kunza demba reisi.
Ngoboda tawaji sonso.
Ngoboda tabad dirta. Cheta mawe yula, cheta mawe lula, tabe ngoboda mi tabe ngobo jalwa. Dina ngobo ina tanda nemba imi chabra mada tela tabe ngobo jagi mi do. Isu kebarta za hawa package mi do. Diji namja mi chado.
So when we look at the meaning of the true truth, here the Sutra school says that so if something is object, or if something is object, it should be necessarily ultimate truth. And but according to the previous school, for the object, it has permanent object as well as impermanent object. Kind of a classification, and the nature of the object is different. And when we look at the the definition of what is conventional truth and what is ultimate truth. You can page 186. We covered. So basically, the definition is definition is rely or they have a quote from the Treasure of Manifested Knowledge text. So it's a thing which is such that if broken or mentally separated into others, that is part, and awareness of it no longer operates. And that's conventional truth. Such as pot or water is conventional existent, and others are ultimately existent. So the definition of contaminate. The definition contaminated. Looking at it. So the definition of ultimate truth is a phenomenon which is such that when it is broken up or mentally separated into individual parts, the consciousness apprehending that object is not cancelled. Illustration of ultimate truths are directionally partless particles, temporarily partless moments of consciousness, uncompounded space. So the example like here, consciousness, partless particles. It doesn't matter how much you kind of break down into pieces. That pieces has it's still consciousness. It doesn't. You don't lose the meaning of the object. But the conventional truth is like a pod and beads. We mentioned before. If you break down the pod, the mind apprehending that this is a pod is no more there. It is gone because because of breaking of the pod. And same apply with the rosary or beads. When you break it into pieces, the mind apprehending that there is bead or rosary there or mala there is not more there because the bead is broken into pieces. But that's not same with the ultimate truth. Ultimate truth, it doesn't matter. Consciousness, partless particles break down into as many parts, but each of the parts still kind of is a consciousness. So that's it. So you can see the difference between ultimate truth and conventional truth. Comparatively. These two school interpretations. We'll stop here and we'll take a break.